Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. So it's day 2 of Amazon Prime Big Deal Days, and I'm happy to announce that most of the sales that were going on in day 1 are still going on in day 2. Now there was one surprise that popped up, I think later in the day yesterday. I kind of missed it. It was the Dream L10S Gen 2, which I'm going to show you. It's $400. It's a really good robot. But let's start off with the Roomba 405 is an extremely popular robot vacuum cleaner. It's not on my recommended buy list. Even though the price point is $379, it's very appealing. It's got spinning mop pads that spin. It's got a base station. But the Mova P10 Pro is still my top pick. And that one that just showed up today, the Dream L10S Gen 2, it's better than the Roomba 405. So let's cut to the chase. I'll show you my updated list. I'll show you my homework, and then I'll kind of explain the robots. Here's the updated list, day 2. Thankfully, these are still on sale. Mova or Dream L40, Mova P10 Pro. I love either one of them. But 3.5 is the Dream L10S Gen 2 for $400. Here it is down here. It's got a base station, just like the Mova P10 Pro. The side brush doesn't extend. It doesn't wash with hot water. It doesn't have a camera, so if you're concerned about privacy. But other than that, it's a really good robot vacuum cleaner that I absolutely love. And that has a lot to do with this price point. That's just $400. We still got the S5V, $549. The Edge S5A, there was a lot of discussion on this yesterday. I still love it. We did a live stream last night. We talked all about it. The Curve X, that's a flagship. That's $900. Mova V50 is still my #1 pick at $1,000. And we've got some budget. And you can always find all my robots that I approve of on justadadapproved.com. On my website, if you could sign up for my emails, I'll send you out an email whenever robots go on sale. Here I've got the Amazon Prime Big Deals Days listed, and here's my #1 pick. There's little links, so if you click on that, that's going to take you to Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click on that, the product doesn't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. I've got several other products that I review. I've got vacuum cleaners, coffee makers, floor wet dry floor mops. Let's take a look at vacuum cleaners, best cordless ones. So these are all products that I have reviewed and highly recommend. And that's all at justadadapproved.com. So thankfully somebody yesterday mentioned to me that the Dream L10S Gen 2 is on sale for $400. I did miss that in my original listing here. That's just a great price point. The Roomba 405 did go down a little bit to $379. It's still not a buy for me, even at that price. This Dream L10S, that's a really good robot for that price. And here's this middle of the road that I absolutely love. It's a great jump in place. You're not getting the most expensive, but you're getting some features that these more expensive robots have with the Mova P10 Pro and the Dream L40. So I've got my baseball card list here where I can move these around. These are on magnets, and I can put them up right next to each other, and we can do a comparison. Now, with that being said, Mova P10 Pro compared to the 405. Now, this did go down a little bit. They don't tell us suction power. The mop pads can reach out to the side, go up right against the wall. On the Roomba, they cannot, but it can lift them. The side brush has corner reach, where the Roomba 405 does not. The main brush is a single brush roller, which they both are, but you can upgrade to the tri-cut brush on the Mova P10 Pro for long hairs. Onboard water tank, that's crucial in my opinion. The Mova P10 Pro can spray water on top of the mop pads where the Roomba 405 can't. Has a video camera, but you can turn it off if you're worried about privacy. Obstacle avoidance was amazing compared to fail on the 405. Same thresholds. Here's another big difference. The Mova can wash with hot water and dry with hot air. Roomba 405, cold water, cold air. No dirt detect, no solution tank, no tray removal. The Mova P10 Pro is a DAD approved deluxe. While the Roomba 405 is DAD approved, it's not a buy at this price. If it ever went down to about $250, it'd be a buy. Now in the future, I'm gonna try to come up with a way to put these on my website. I'm gonna call them baseball cards. Maybe I'll attach little pictures to them, but this has been super exciting, and somebody was asking me if they could have access to these, and I definitely will make these accessible. So real quick, let's kind of talk about this. Here's the Dream L10S Gen 2. It's got a vacuum cleaner. You can install that tri-cut brush, the same one that you can install over here on the Mova P10 Pro. It's got a carpet sensor. It can raise and lower the mop pads. It even can extend one mop pad up against the wall. for 400 bucks, this is a really good buy. The Dream L10S, the original one, is 300 bucks. The onboard sensor in the front is relatively okay with obstacle avoidance. It's not perfect, but it is a lot better compared to the Roomba 405. This sensor on the front is just to help it get back to the dock. If there's something tall enough that the LiDAR can bounce off of, it'll avoid it, which these have LiDAR also. And one of the main reasons I've been having problems with the 405 doesn't auto empty the dustbin. And in my testing, it just proved that. So the robots vacuum your house, they come back to the base station, another vacuum kicks on inside the base station and sucks everything into a dust bag. Well, that should be very easy in work, but on the 405, it does struggle. And I just proved that. This dustbin has been emptied a couple times while it's been doing my testing, and it's full. So it's failed to empty the dustbin. That happens occasionally on some robots, but nothing like I've seen on the 405. That's a very important feature, because if it doesn't empty that dustbin, then the next time it goes out and vacuum, it's a clogged filter, basically. So over here on the Mova P10 Pro, same thing. It's going to vacuum your house. There's a dustbin. I've never had near the problems. You are going to have to clean these filters. They do get extremely dirty. I have a video on how to do it. I recommend getting extra filters. These are reusable. You wash them under the sink, let them dry in the sun, and then put them back. That's why I recommend having all your suction is going to be through this filter. So you do have to clean that every couple weeks to maintain maximum suction. Now the Mova P10 Pro, side brush so they can extend into the corner. Again, we can upgrade that to the tri-cut brush. Carpet sensor, mop pads extend, and it can move one of the mop pads up against the wall. This was my 2025 pick of the year. LiDAR navigation. It's got a really good app, and that's another thing. The Roomba, while it has a new app, it's not as good or user-friendly as the Dreamy, the Roborock, or the Mova. Even the Eufy has a better app than the Roomba. It's just, in my opinion, just a little bit of confusing, a little bit of hassle factor. Now, they're older robots. They're i3, i5, they're J7s. Those robots are completely outdated, and I don't recommend buying them at all. Now, they do sell a bunch of these. I think that's mainly from the name recognition. It is a new Roomba. It does have LiDAR navigation. Things are starting to improve, but these robots have been around for another year or so, and they've got such advanced features that are just going to help you clean your house a whole lot better. So $450 for a Mova P10 Pro. The Dream L10S, same price, same robot. It can leave its mop pads back at the base station. Suction power is a little bit different, nothing to be worried about there. But I do like the Mova P10 Pro. The Dream L10S, again, it's got the same docking station, same way it auto empties the dustbin and everything, but you can save. This is 400 bucks. This kind of snuck up on me yesterday. I didn't see it, and I'm so thankful somebody left a comment on yesterday's video about that, because that's a great price that we don't see. We just don't see these prices that often on this many at the same time. We have to take advantage of these sales events. Even on the most expensive ones, we're saving some major money on these. And this is just I'm going to reiterate, this is the great price point to jump into. Now, if $300 is in your budget, the Dream L10S is still $300 today. It doesn't have quite the highest suction power. The side brush doesn't extend. It kind of reminds me of the 405. It's kind of lacking in a lot of things, cold water and that sort of thing, but it's 300 bucks. Okay, let's bump up in price a little bit. This is $450. The Roborock Q Revo Edge S5A is $650. This is another highly recommended robot from me. Now, it does have some more advanced features. It doesn't have a camera on the front, so if you're worried about privacy, that's a good one. It's got an upgraded brush roller. This dual divide brush roller is great if you have pets or long hair. It's divided in the middle, so the long hairs are not going to wrap around the single roller. And these are fluted, so the long hairs are directed as they're spinning to the center, and then they get sucked up. I've heard from several pet owners in the comments of videos that they absolutely love this design, and it works really well if they have dogs. Now, if you have 3 huskies that are constantly shedding in your house, no robot is going to be able to keep up with that amount of dog hair. But for everyday cleaning, and I have 1 dog at home, they do a great job. 2, 3 might be pushing it with these. You might get some clumping. But now, Roborock has a cheaper version of this called the Q-Revo S5V. Now the S5V is $550, so it's more expensive than the Mova P10 Pro. The one thing is you do get the upgraded brush roller. It washes the mops with cold water, which I wish it washed with hot water. It does extend one of the mop pads up against the wall. It doesn't extend the side brush, which I wish it did. It doesn't have a camera, again, if you're worried about privacy. It has a carpet sensor, but it's got that really good dual divide brush roller that works really well. So while you lose a little bit in suction power, cold water, these have base stations just like the Mova P10 Pro, clean water tanks, dirty water tanks. Now, one thing about the Roborocks are their base stations have a tray removal. So you take the whole tray out. This does get dirty over time. Take it to your sink. This is all the cleaning you do. And then you simply just put the tray back in the base station. I like that. The Dream and the Mova, typically you've got to clean the base station kind of down there on the floor. There is a procedure for that. And again, I have videos on all of these, how to do all the maintenance. If it's a robot that I recommend, I'm going to have the setup. I'm going to have the review. I'll probably be comparing it to 3 or 4 others. And then I'll have the 3-month real world test, which I combine with how to do all the maintenance. So don't be intimidated by these. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to clean the filters. I give links to all the parts. There's a couple tools that I use, kind of like air blowers and brushes and different things. So I give you links to all of those. It's going to be very, very simple for you. There was a lot of discussion on the Roborock Q-Revo Edge. This Edge, now they sell 2 Edges. They sell one that's more expensive. It's got a camera. It can lift the chassis whenever it's on carpet. It can lift the brush roller whenever it senses liquid. Some more advanced features. It's about $950. This is a great price point. You lose some of those things, but this has the basic things that makes it a really good robot vacuum cleaner. Back to our list, that's the Edge S5A 650. Let's go to the Mova P50 for $50 more. Here's the Mova P50. It is a highly recommended robot from me. It's got the tri-cut brush, which does do a good job with long hair, but it is hard to beat the dual divide on the Edge that the Roborock has. This can leave its mop pads back at the base station. It does wash with hot water and blows with hot air to dry. It's got a camera on the front, LiDAR, great app. So if you're needing something for pets, the Roborock Edge S5A. The S5V is a little bit cheaper also. Mova V50, $1,000. That comes with about $200 worth of extra parts, filters, mop pads, dust bags, you're not gonna have to buy anything for about 6 months to a year. So that's about another $200 savings that's included in this price, which makes that robot just a super good buy, in my opinion. The Roborock SARS 10R, $1,200. So back over here, we can see, now there's a lot of talk about the Eufy X10 Pro. In my opinion, that's an older robot. It's $600, and these other ones are just far superior to it. Same with the Roomba 505, it's $600. It just doesn't compete. Same with the Shark Power Detect Pro. It just can't compete with these other ones. These other ones clean better and have more features and have less hassle factor. The Shark has a really old app. Eufy E25, I'm not really recommending it. I'm on my 2nd unit. It seems to have some problems when we first got it. They've done a software update. It doesn't put down as much water. That's part of their fix. It's just kind of a pass for me. I'm anxious for the Eufy S2 Pro to come out. There's the Edge S5A. That's in this category. There's the one to get. That is just a great robot. Narwhal Frio Z10, same price. The Edge has more cleaning capabilities. Dream X40, while still good, it's a little bit higher. And then we go over here. There's the flagships. Mova P50, Curve X. This is brand new. That's at my house right now, and it's doing an amazing job. That's a super expensive robot that's on sale for $900. And there's the Mova V50. Now, is the V50 worth $100 more than the Curve X? Yes, if you need robotic arms to go over thresholds. So again, don't forget to check out my website, justadadapproved.com. It's got the updated figures on all of this, what the pricing are. I took pictures of everything. So if you want to examine all of my homework, I've got pictures on there, and it shows you what robot vacuum cleaners that I highly recommend. Let's get into the higher price ones, the flagship models. Now, these typically cost over $1,000. Now, here we have the Mova P10 Pro, basically 500 bucks, let's say. Do these clean twice as good as the Mova P10 Pro, the $500 one? They don't clean twice as good. They have some nice features that the Mova doesn't have, but they don't clean twice as good. But unfortunately, for some of the features, you do have to kind of jump up in price. And one of those is robotic feet that kind of leap over thresholds. So if you have thresholds in your house that are kind of like a sliding door or something going from room to room, like about a 2.5-inch threshold, you're going to want to get the Mova V50 or the Dream L50. Now again, in my testing, these cleaned about the same. The Mova V50, for its price, you're just getting a lot more stuff and features. But both of them have the same exact robotic feet that come out. It deploys them, and then it lifts the robot over these really tall thresholds. It does a really good job. The Dreamy X50 has the same feet. So there's 3 robots that have these for thresholds. Now let's get into the Roborock Saros 10R. It doesn't have the robotic feet that get over thresholds. It can only do about 1/3 of the threshold that this can do, but it's thin, okay? It is a flagship robot. It does a great job of cleaning. Does it clean twice as good as the Mova P10 Pro? It absolutely does not. But it does have some nice features. It's got chassis lift. It can lift itself up when you got tall pile carpet. You can see, look at that's the flagship model has this duo divide brush roller. That's how valuable I think that is. They put it on their flagship one, and then they started bringing it down to the cheaper ones. Carpet sensor, side brush, it can kind of store it so it doesn't get into liquid. It can extend it, lift it up and down. Mop pads it can leave back at the base station. But this is thin. It says it doesn't have LiDAR. It's got special sensors on the front and the back. In my testing, I couldn't see any difference. It acts like it has spinning LiDAR on the top, which is the only thing I recommend for a robot vacuum cleaner to have. And the app is very good. So this thing has no problem navigating, mapping. It acts just the same as these LiDARs. The Mova V50 has a LiDAR, but it moves it up and down. I haven't had a problem with it. Now, these robotic ones are super quiet. The Roborock Saros 10R is a little noisy when it's mopping, but when these are mopping only, you can barely hear them. Now, when they're vacuuming and mopping, there is a little bit of noise because of the vacuum cleaner, but wow. There's something going on with these wheels that they're just super quiet and the robot's quiet. So if quietness is a concern, the Mova V50 it was my 2025 best money can buy, basically. This is the best robot that if money can buy. So while I highly recommend this one, this is a great price point because, wow, we can save so much money. We don't get all the features that this has, but it's just a great price. I mean, you can buy 2 of these for one Mova V. Now, one of the #1 questions I get, and what's turning out to be a very popular search is, what's the best robot vacuum cleaner that doesn't mop? Now, that's turning out to be a really hard category because you can get confused because while this is the one I recommend, the Dream D20 Pro and the Roborock Q10 S5 Plus, as you'll see, they both have a mop. So in your search, you may say, oh, it has a mop, I don't want it. Unfortunately, there's the robot manufacturers, there are some that are making some that just vacuum only. I don't really recommend those. The ones that I recommend, unfortunately, have mops. And the #1 I'm recommending is the Dream D20 Pro. They have a D20 without the Pro. It's about $20 cheaper. The Pro's got a side brush that it extends, which I do like that feature, being able to extend that into the corner. It has a mop pad. It's not a good mopping robot because it can't raise and lower it. It does have a carpet sensor, so it will avoid carpet when the mop's on. Simply just take it off and don't use it. It's got a water tank, onboard water tank. Leave it installed, just don't fill it up with water. This actually does a really good job of vacuum only. So just don't use it. And I love that it has a base station that's going to auto empty it after every single job. So this is a great robot. It's got really high suction power. It's going to come back, empty everything out. You've got to replace the dust bag every couple months. Very easy to do. It's actually pretty quiet while it's vacuuming. Roborock has a similar version. This one actually does a pretty good job of mopping because it has a carpet sensor, but it can move the mop pad up and down, which in my opinion, for every robot that wants to mop, it should be able to do that. But again, this one, while you can take the mop pad off, take the mop pad off. Again, if you want it to vacuum only, you're probably going to have to leave the mop pad on. There's this little vibrating brush. It could get caught on things. And if you take this off, there's Velcro that can kind of pick up hair. So while this is a good robot, my number one pick is going to be the Roborock D20 Pro. It's $309. Again, but for $300 you can get the Dream L10S that does vacuuming and mopping. But I understand there are a lot of people that want robots that just vacuum only. This was just released. Mova's got one coming out. I've got it in the other room. I think it's the E30. It looks very similar to this. It probably is the same, but there might be some differences, so I will be reviewing that in the future. But again, this turned out to be a really hard question. Shark sells a ton of robots. They're just none that I really recommend right now. They've got a Shark AV, I'm looking at AV2501S for $229. So again, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. This is where you can find all the products that I recommend. Vacuum cleaners, I even sell my own coffee, wet floor dry mops. The Tenneco S5 Smart is one that I recommend. Same as the Mova X4 Pro I love. I've even got a section, gifts Dad will love. These are gifts that I've purchased myself, but thinking, man, these would actually make really good gifts. And under 50 bucks, these are just gifts I use all the time. So I think your dad would love them also. Quick update behind the scenes, the Narwhal Flow, I'm trying to send it back. It's getting stuck on carpet. It's kind of having a lot of trouble avoiding obstacles in the studio. The Mova Z60, while it's just basically underperforming with vacuuming and auto emptying, it's not going to be a recommend by me. These are Generation 1. Sitting right next to it was the Dreamy Aqua 10. I did send it back because the base station was leaking water. I will be getting a new one in the future. Another really popular Amazon Prime Days is this Bissell Little Green Mini. It's on sale for like 75 bucks. This is highly recommended by me. It's plug-in, but it's just really small. Compared to the older one, that went viral a couple years ago. That thing's just pretty outdated. It does okay, but wow, this mini one. They even sell one that's cordless. It's quite a bit more expensive. This is the one to get. So be sure and check out these sales. I'm not sure how long they're going to last. It is the last day. It's October 9th. And I think at midnight, these sales go away. And then they just come back at random times. But sign up for my email on my website. And now occasionally the Mova P10 Pro does go on sale. Like the Dream L40 goes on sale occasionally at random times. People tell me in the comments, and then I immediately send out an email because my job is to get you the best robot at the best price. I had a live stream last night. We had a lot of fun. I'm going to start doing more live streams in the future where you can do question and answer with me. We spent 3 hours going over all these robots with questions and answers. So look for more live streams coming in the future. I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.